Welcome to your guided tour and detailed training of ACE's administrative portal. We are excited that you have made the decision to transition to our fantastic practice management software. Today, we're going to go in great detail and cover how ACE functions as a practice management solution. So, ACE is our baby, and like all parents who show you their baby, we think our baby is spectacular. But we also understand that you're going to take a look at our baby and perhaps say things such as, he's sure got a full head of hair, or bless his heart, look at his fingers and toes. But then on the inside, you could be thinking, it's not that great. I hate change. I don't want to do this. I hear you. Change is hard, but I promise that this change will be worth it. You're going to work like a team in ways that you've never been able to before, and you're going to be an efficient team. We're going to give you the tools to do this and to be successful. So let's get started. As an administrative team, we may not be the clinicians that are providing the services, but we are all involved in helping to accomplish the mission of the company that we're employed for. It's our job to support the workflow. We provide a solid foundation on which our clinicians can provide services that are effective, compliant, and of the highest quality. In an effort to accomplish our mission on a daily basis, we run into a variety of rules and regulations that we have to abide by. The rules keep us all on a straight path, but they aren't always easy, and we aren't all experts in all of them. So how do we get there? The answer is by having one system that guides us and keeps us on the path. A system that has built-in rules that make it easy to do our job. That system is ACE. No matter what your job capacity is, every employee will interface with ACE in some way. Even if there are job tasks that you are not specifically assigned to do, you're expected to know how the system basically functions. We're going to cover things that are not part of your job, but you are responsible for knowing our system, workflow, and job responsibilities that are basically performed. ACE is based around a relatively basic workflow. Our workflow actually follows the pattern of the shell on a snail. As a snail ages, the rings on its shell continue to grow with it. And really, it's the same thing with our workflow. While there can always be small deviations from the workflow based upon things such as funding sources, evaluations, patient age, etc., the basic pattern is always there. The workflow begins with pending referrals. This is where the bulk of the data is actually collected for our patients. A lot of data entry happens at this point. We receive contact information, consent forms, physician information, funding source information, and so much more. Once all referral information is on file, we have assigned the patient to one of our therapists. The patient changes to a status of active patient-new. If the patient has not already had a compliant evaluation, we will request that one of our therapists complete an evaluation for the patient. If the patient has a diagnosis that warrants therapy, the therapist will create a plan of care, the document that details how they intend to care for the patient. Once a plan of care is developed, the therapist will complete an initial authorization questionnaire where they will answer questions that should prove to Medicaid why the patient should receive this therapy. Once initial authorization is obtained, the patient is changed to a status of active patient. A therapist is then notified of the authorization and treatment begins. At any point in the treatment process, a therapist can change their plan of care document, but it must be updated at least every 6 months. As treatment continues, the therapist will be asked to complete a reauthorization questionnaire in which they will report to Medicaid the progress that the patient has made and prove why therapy should be continued. Once the reauthorization is received, the patient can continue treatment. At the 1-year mark, an annual evaluation is performed. Another plan of care document is created if therapy is needed. Again, reauthorization will be requested, and the cycle continues over and over again as many times as is medically necessary. When you see our workflow as a whole, you'll notice that there's a red light, green light pattern. Certain portions of the workflow are red. Workflow is at a standstill until this part is complete. Certain portions are yellow. Workflow is slow as we wait for the documentation or the funding. And certain portions of the workflow are green. The workflow is going good and at a steady pace. This concludes the instructions related to ACE's administrative workflow. For further information, feel free to watch the video again and pause as necessary. Additionally, you may consult the written administrative ACE manual for detailed instructions and screenshots related to specific features and tasks.